What's going on, guys? This is Miasin. So today I won't actually be covering an OCG metagame breakdown because this is the older one. I really just want to show something concerning it, but I will be covering something else, which is the Duelist Cup from Taiwan, as well as CCT Ningbo, which is a tournament somewhere in the OCG. I have no freaking idea what... No, not even Ningbo, Ningbo. Yeah, maybe China or something. I don't know, I'm stupid. So yeah, before this video starts, make sure you like and subscribe. Check me out on Twitch and Instagram, etc. You already know the drill, and now let's jump right into it. So first of all, from the last OCG metagame breakdown that we had, we can currently see that 40% of the top performing decks, which are the decks that are topping events, including, I think, locals and events that are maybe a little bigger than locals sometimes, are, you know, tier laments. The majority of them are Ishizu. Even the other, like, non-pure Ishizu tier laments are still builds that are playing Ishizu with tier laments, so it's mostly Ishizu tier laments. And then after that, we have Splight. Majority of them are pure Splight, but some of them are with other engines, and a lot of people are playing Bisted cards as well as Xatrila cards. But as you can see, 61.4% of the field is playing between two decks. So that's actually huge, but there is something way bigger and way more important than that that's going on behind the scenes, and people aren't really talking about it. So yeah, the rest is almost 40% are other decks, because Bisted, Exorcister, Flunderies, Adamancipator, the Math Mech deck, etc., they're just not doing well anymore. And every single freaking first place tournament is always won by Ishizu tier laments, and this is something that we've seen ever since we got the new Ishizu cards. This is ridiculous because we all thought that the Bisted engine would completely destroy Ishizu tier laments, so that Splight would be better, but turns out that the engine is so ridiculously overpowered that even when you give, you know, every single deck just extra DD Crows that are actually busted, even better than DD Crows, it's still not freaking enough. So look at this Duelist Cup. It's actually ridiculous. First place, second place, and third place were all playing Ishizu tier laments. This is insane. And even though it was actually 4 out of 8 that were playing Splight, it's the better ones are all playing Ishizu tier laments, and then Splight are all at the bottom. So yeah. This is clearly the superior deck. It's much better than Splight, and again, even though it's a 50-50, it's still in Ishizu tier lament's favor. Now for the deck list, not much has changed. People are now main decking Maxi, which is something that we've stopped seeing for a while, and now randomly main decking Triple Tactic Talents. One Salic, which sometimes is also Crime or Meta Noise, but the majority of the time it's Salic because it's the best card to Foolish. Foolishing the Meta Noise is actually not that good because it recycles back from the grave to the hand, where Salic searches from the deck to the hand. And the most unique card in the extra deck is actually Borlo the Dragon, a card I haven't seen in a hot minute. And as a matter of fact, everybody is now playing Borlo the Dragon. What the hell? And it's actually not even the same deck list. Like, this guy's on Skill Drain on the side, this one no. This is... Am I missing something? Why is Borlo Dragon randomly this good? And the card never stopped being good, but Jesus, this is actually crazy. And again, man, freaking 5 Bisted cards in the side deck. This is ridiculous. Not a single Xatrila, though. A little shocked, but it actually does make sense. Doesn't really have any inherent synergy in the deck. And yeah, I mean, the Ishizu engine is now stable at 12 cards. Everybody is on 2 copies of the Diviner. Nobody's really playing Ava, even though I think they could before. And Diviner of the Herald of Orange Light. This card's always obviously going to be played at 3. Ash is not really a staple over there in the in the OCG, even though it's a really good counter to Maxi. People kind of have the mentality of whatever, if you have it, you have it. So yeah, I mean, Call by the Grave could be a 3, and as you can see here, some people are choosing only to play 1 Call by the Grave and side deck the second copy. I find this a little crazy because in the TCG we only have 1 Call by the Grave, and it's basically like a card that everybody complains about, except for like 10 humans on Earth. And this guy is not even playing a single Call by the Grave. However, he is playing Ash, so that is the difference. And over here, well, side decking the second, the 2 other copies of Call by the Grave. And here, no Call by the Grave in the main deck, but again, 2 Call by the Graves in the side deck. So yeah, Ishizu tier laments, absolutely no joke, getting first, second, and third. And it's basically the same deck list, honestly. Now for the CCT Ningbo 2022, it's kind of like a YCS tournament, so 8 rounds of Swiss in day 1, and then top 32 on day 2, so you play top 32 and then top 16, top 8, top 4, and then the finals. And you can already guess it. But Ishizu Tier Laments again getting first place, man. And then Splight, and then Ishizu Tier Laments, and then Splight, and then Ishizu Tier Laments, and then Splight. And then we have no data concerning every other deck except one that randomly freaking topped top 16 with Brave Virtual World, which is actually pretty crazy, not gonna lie. But yeah, is Ishizu Tier Laments, is this deck even spicier than the other builds? Not really. I mean, this one is randomly only on 2 copies of Mudora, Kelbeck, and Agido. Only Keldo is played at 3. I'm actually really shocked. And yeah, that's the 2 Bisted monsters in the main deck. The continuous spell card for the Tier Laments. This card's actually pretty decent. It's not super insane. Like, you get to mill 3 cards and search a Tier Laments trap card from the deck to the hand when it's sent to the graveyard by a card effect. But honestly, I don't know if I really like it too much when you only play 1 trap card. And it's not always super good going second, so I would actually play without this card. And a lot of hand traps, actually. So triple Maxi, double Ash, triple Diviner. Actually, no, not even that many hand traps because Kelbeck is only played at 2, so yeah, whenever people actually look at hand traps, they're like, oh, I only see, you know, Ash, maybe, and Maxi, and those are the only hand traps. But no, because remember that Hafines and Kelbeck are also hand traps, and then you have Diviner of Herald of Orange Lights. God, it's my second time making this mistake. So yeah, if this card was being played at 3, it would be like 3, 6, 9, 11, 14 hand traps in a deck that just explodes with like 1 or 2 cards. Well, usually 2 cards, except if your 1-card starters like Reno or Field Spell or Instant Fusion. So that's actually ridiculously freaking crazy. And the extra deck is actually really interesting as well, with Baron and Cheng-Ying, Borlo Dragon. Again, everybody's on this card. And the side deck is absurd. What the hell is this, man? A lot of big monsters. Double Sphere Mode, Triple Zooking Alpha. God damn, people really don't want to lose to Splight because the deck doesn't make Omni Negates anymore, and it really cannot do much against just Special Summon Zooking Alpha, attack, bounce back, and now I can summon from my extra deck. In the TCG, I don't know if this is also going to happen because we don't have the Union Carrier, so we can't go for the Dragon Buster Destruction Sword lock. And obviously right now we still have Toad, so that is kind of like out of the picture, but it's still a really good card that always will have that potential in the future. And then the Bisted Lubelia on this card's pretty good, but there's no continuous spell that you can set with it, so it's not super great. It's a little random, to be honest. And then 1 Pankratops, double, what's the name? It's not Druid Worm, I forgot, man. 1 Regeki, which is weird because you can play 3 if you want to. And then the 1 Crime and 1 Skill Drain. Again, a little weird because a bunch of 1-ofs, but no Crossout Designator. Obviously, the card's at 1, so why would you play it? And you kind of have to draw them because you can't really search or you can't really, like, draw a lot. You mill a lot. Actually, you know what? You can set back the Skill Drain with the effect of Kelbeck, but then you need Exchange of the Spirit in the grave for the Gravekeeper's Trap. So that is the one thing that I've noticed with this deck list. There was no Exchange of the Spirit, whereas this first place deck list did have Exchange of the Spirit, and this one didn't, and this one didn't. So most people are actually cutting Exchange of the Spirit from their deck because it's kind of like a Garnetti card, because it does nothing when you draw it. You just want to have it in the grave with Gravekeeper's Trap on the field. And you can argue that even Gravekeeper's Trap, you can live without it, but it's actually a little too good to like just set with, well, activate with the Mudora. So yeah, that card's always going to be good, and searching freaking Kelbeck on your opponent's turn, being able to hand shop. Oh my god, this card is nasty. Yeah, this is genuinely one of the best decks I've ever seen in my entire life. And the Lulu Carols as well, being able to negate Nibiru and other summons. Oh my god, this deck has so much going for it. And for the Splight deck, obviously nobody's playing Deep Sea Diva. The Beaver, the Nimble cards are better. First of all, I think Needle Fiber is banned. I forgot. I think it is. But either way, even if it wasn't, the Nimble package would still be better because we now have Splight Sprint. So that's a Foolish Burial for a level 2 monster when it's summoned. And basically, you send the Angler, and then you summon 2 Beavers from the deck. So that's the reason why it's actually so good. And one thing that I actually do find very interesting is the inclusion of Pixies, and only 1 copy of Splight Red. In the TCG, what we're seeing is nobody on Earth is playing this card, and people are typically playing 2 copies of Splight Red and 1 Carrot, and then these other ratios are standard. And in the TCG, again, nobody's playing the Nimble cards. People are playing triple Deep Sea Diva, Sometimes they're playing Emergency Teleport with the Cypher Aims, and even for the Frog monsters, it's usually always Triple Swap Frog and Ronin Totem, but some people are considering cutting Do Frog or playing it at 1. It really depends. But yeah, main deck, Bistid and Xatrila. These cards are all like basically Pancratops slash massive DD Crew on crack. And not that many hand traps for a hand trap deck. So triple Maxi, triple Ash, triple Imperm, double. But obviously these cards are kind of like DD Crow. And this card is like a board breaking card anyways, and it's actually really good going first or second. It's always good. Triple Starter, 1 Smashers, double TTT, double Call by the Grave, the 1 of random crossout that I don't even like, and the 1 Prosperity, which I find really whack because you can play 2, so why would you not play 2? Nothing interesting at all in the extra deck, and for the side deck, Triple Shifter, very insane because you don't really lose that much to your own Shifter. It just makes it so that you can't really use the effects of Swap Frog, but it's not like the end of the world. A Pointer of the Red Lotus is interchangeable with Solemn Judgment and Anti-Spell Fragrance. Really is up to you whether you want to play one or the other. I think a Pointer is actually really nasty if you can make an unbreakable board, because you can look at your opponent's hand and make them lose like the 1 out, or if they have multiple outs, you make them lose their starter. So the knowledge that you get from a Pointer of the Red Lotus is the huge beneficial thing, but if you break with a Pointer of the Red Lotus, you basically lose the game. Or Solemn Judgment, you might sometimes do the incorrect trade where your opponent has like Dark Ruler, you go Judgment Negate, and then they have like another Dark Ruler, and then you lose to like that Dark Ruler instead of, you know, letting the Dark Ruler resolve and then Judgment their starter. So that is one issue that I have with Solemn Judgment. If you're going in blind, it's not necessarily super good. So if you want, you can actually do a mix of a Pointer and Solemn Judgment, and this is what this player decided to do, and I actually really do appreciate that. I think it makes a lot of sense. Just mixing out the cards that you get to play in your side deck definitely is something that can allow you to increase your win rate in tournaments. Double Regeki, double Lightning Storm, and 1 Duster. Speaking of the Devil, instead of playing maybe triple Lightning Storm, and then no Duster, and like triple Regeki, and then less of these cards. So a very just diverse side deck. And for the other deck list, nothing too extraordinary here. Underworld Goddess in the extra deck. Alright, finally someone who doesn't want to lose to the big Adignister Towers. So that's definitely really good. And side deck Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries, because people are already playing the Splight Link monsters, and Reapering the Splight Elf is game against Splight. It's arguably better than Gigantic Splight. It depends on the context though, because sometimes the correct move is actually to Reaper this card, because they would literally have nothing and then they would just pass their turn. But if you Reaper the Splight Elf, they have no grind game. They can't play even like in the next turns. So yeah, it's actually extremely massive. And that's pretty much it for, no, actually 2 final deck lists. So this one, not really unique. The Gamma Burst, I guess, in the main deck. I don't like this card though. I think Pixies or Pixels or whatever, this card's good enough. Actually on double red this time. Codebreaker, Virus Swordsman, never mind, that was the final deck list. Codebreaker, Virus Swordsman, so you can jump over Baguska, which is typically played in this deck. So yeah, Ishizu Tier Laments can make rank 4s, either Dweller or Redoer or Baguska. It can't make Gigantic Splight, obviously. Well, it theoretically could, it's just that you won't really do much with it. But yeah, the Splight Elf, you inherently make it by using maybe Meru and something else, and then revive back the, Diviner of the Heralds, and then you send Elder Entity Entis, but this deck does not play that package, so I guess it saved maybe 1 or 2 slots in the extra deck, allowing it to play Ghost Reaper. I don't really understand why the Asa is here. I guess all the Shizu monsters are Earth, so you can just make the Asa and then revive back your opponent Earth monster. But Earth isn't really a broken attribute. I guess the Xatrila are really nice, so if he's playing triple Tactic Talents, which he is, he can steal and then revive back on his own field, search his own Xatrila, which is undoable when you only play 0, and then banish cards your opponent controls, etc. So really cool. And yeah, no, that's pretty much it for this video. Let me know your thoughts about this format in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.